Live from White House Field, Will Connerly alongside Brad Klein, and game about to begin here. 7:04 p.m. Trey Dombrowski, the starting pitcher for the Harwich Mariners, and Dombrowski, he was really good against the YD Red Sox. Out of the bullpen, notched 10 strikeouts in his most recent appearance, and the big left-hander throws a breaking ball in for the first pitch here to Peyton Graham.
Peyton Graham in a bit of a slump here.
Second pitch on the inside corner for strike two.
So it's especially hard to lead off. It's hard enough to lead off an inning in a game, but it's even harder to lead off when you're struggling because now you're doubting yourself.
The 0-2 popped up on the infield. First base, Carter Putz under it, and he gloves it for the first out, one away, top of the first. And Wyatt Hoffman now comes to the plate, and he's been pretty hot. You talk about the coolness of Peyton Graham, but nobody in the Cape Cod Baseball League more scorching than the middle infielder Wyatt Hoffman.
Wyatt Hoffman continues to produce both defensively and offensively, and we were talking to him after his last game, I believe it was, and asked him, hey, what's the difference between you in college and you right now?
First pitch foul back, 0-1 the count, and there has been a huge difference. I mean,
statistically, yes.
That question warranted the difference. I mean, that question was ultimately very warranted.
But see, Will, when I asked it, right, I was thinking either he's doing some sort of ritual or, more seriously, he changed his swing, something fundamentally, a mindset, anything. And he just kind of shrugged his shoulders, says, beats me.
The 1-1 from Dombrowski out of the Y, misses low. And Wyatt Hoffman has been scorching hot for the YD Red Sox. Hitting second in the lineup, riding a big hitting streak. And the 2-1 is taken outside, so count runs to 3 balls and a strike. And YD has been able to have success with Wyatt Hoffman's success as well, as here's the 3-1, and it's on the inside corner for a strike, so the count runs full.
Now, there's nothing Hoffman can do with that pitch. A tough take on 3-1, but you can't hit it.
The 3-2, swing and a miss, and Hoffman is retired on the swinging strikeout. And Hoffman then has some words for Rick Emerson, the home plate umpire, calling balls and strikes. It was probably about that 3-1 pitch, Brad, that you mentioned was a little bit inside, and then ultimately he fans on the 3-2 pitch, swinging on the breaking ball, 2 outs.
Turned him in, right? He had to move his hips. At least he felt like he had to move his hips to get out of the way, and yet it was still called a strike. Usually body language helps the umpire.
Huff grounds it up the middle. It's a base hit for Cody Huff. He continues to produce. Coming into this game, he just was continuing to get multi-hit game after multi-hit game, hitting third in the order, and he has himself a 2-out single.
Now, Cody Huff never tries to do too much, which is probably his biggest strength. The ground ball up the middle, that'll do. And that's just attacking the first pitch. He was expecting the pitch he got, was sitting on it, and you could tell that Cody Huff is in a very, very comfortable spot right now.
2 outs, Huff on first base, and the first pitch to Luttrell misses high. Cody Huff with the single. His 9th hit, hitting .348 coming into this game, and 4 of the past 5 games have been multi-hit games for the Stanford backstop. Cody Huff behind the plate today, and the breaking ball misses outside. Now Chase Luttrell in a 2-ball, no strike count, 2 outs. Cody Huff on first base, top of the first, no score. Dombrowski comes set, and the 2-0's in there for strike 1.
Looked like Chase Luttrell was just daring him to throw a strike, and rightfully so. You're Luttrell, you're a lefty, you struggle against the lefty, so you should make that southpaw 60 feet 6 inches away from you throw a strike.
Dombrowski gets in the strike zone once again, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 2 outs at White House Field. A foggy day with the mist coming down in and out throughout this evening. As the southpaw gets the signs, Cody Huff on first, being held by Carter Putz. And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. So 2 strikeouts for Dombrowski in the top frame of the first. To the bottom frame we go next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the first, and Zach Franklin gets the nod for the YD Red Sox. His second start of the season, and Brad, his first start was pretty good. Went 5 1/3 and just surrendered 3 hits, but had a no-hitter for a long time till his final frame when he surrendered the long ball. And Zach Franklin looked pretty good, and he earned himself another start in the rotation, making his 3rd appearance of the season. He threw against Harwich, actually, and picked up the win at Harwich, second game of the season. He tossed 1 inning, and he had 1 hit allowed, 1 walk. Said he didn't have his best command that day, just the 1 free pass. But then the next start, he was really locked in, making his 2nd start of the season here at Harwich.
I remember both of us, we were impressed with Franklin, the way he threw the ball, even though he said he didn't have his stuff.
And first pitch swinging, and it's Tatum Levens who has himself a base knock. The leadoff designated hitter gets aboard. On the first pitch was ultra aggressive on the first offering from Zach Franklin.
That's the way it has to be. Zach Franklin going in his first pitch, and you're almost caught off guard. Like, man, the game started already? Here we go. And Tatum Levens, much like Cody Huff in the last frame, saw a pitch he liked, didn't have to do too much with it, ground ball up the middle, base hit, now you're cooking.
Chris Newell now coming to the plate. Hitting .222, playing in his 4th game for Harwich after the leadoff single from Levens. He's on first, being held by Bowser, YD's first baseman today. And the pitch from Franklin, the breaking ball notches the upper portion of the strike zone for strike 1. 69 miles per hour on the breaking pitch from the right-hander. So nothing in 1 count with Chris Newell at the plate. And Levens at first. The pitch misses low. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. Franklin out of Western Carolina. And has started some games throughout his 4-year career at WCU. And the 6'1" right-hander comes set and delivers the pitch. It misses low once again, so now 2 balls and a strike. Here to the left-handed hitting center fielder, Chris Newell. Newell went 1 for 4 yesterday at Wareham. It was a 3-3 tie for Harwich, and a block by Huff. Nice job. And in that game between Harwich and Wareham, it was Harwich who was leading in the game, 30-minute lightning delay, and then Wareham comes back, hits a home run, and then takes the lead, and then Harwich was able to salvage a tie late in that game, get the result. And YD, no stranger to ties. They have 4 of them this season as that ball is fouled out of play. Count now 4. 3 balls and 2 strikes, but you'll take a point. And that's why YD sits atop the East Division right now. 4 ties have equaled 4 points for the YD Red Sox.
Yeah, you have to wonder how many of those games would have gone in YD's way if there were extra innings, unlimited extra innings, that is. And we'll never know, but it's something interesting to think about because you're right, those one-pointers, they really add up.
The 3-2 hit up the middle, stroke to center field, and back-to-back hits for Harwich in the bottom of the first.
So now Zach Franklin is just leaving his changeup middle, and that's going to be an issue. For anyone in the CCBL, any hitter that sees a middle changeup, their eyes are going to light up.
And here comes one of the best hitters in the league, one of the youngest players in the league, the freshman, true freshman out of Wake Forest, Brock Wilkin. 7 extra base hits, 17 hits already this season, hitting .347. And has some big-time pop up in a situation with runners on first and second and nobody out, bottom of the first. The first offering to Wilkin misses low.
And at 6'4", 225 pounds, and this is the kind of guy that you could really see playing in the major leagues. And it might be early to start talking about that, but why not at this point? You're in the CCBL, you're hitting one of the best hitters in the league, and you're only a freshman.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is he's the youngest player on Harwich's roster. Just turned 19 before the season started this year and not going to be eligible even in next year's draft. So has a huge ceiling, in eyeing Brock Wilkin, one of the better hitters in the class of 23 draft. With a 2-0 count, we'll see if he's swinging away. Franklin comes set. Runners on first and second. The pitch misses high. And now a 3-ball, no strike count here to Brock Wilkin. On deck is Carter Putz. Wilkin hit his 3rd home run of the summer yesterday. Was 2 for 3 in that game. Back-to-back 2-hit games for Wilkin coming into this contest. The pitch misses high. He draws a 4-pitch walk, and that brings up Carter Putz with the bases loaded and nobody out.
And here comes Cody Huff to command this mound visit, and I like it. This is the first time that Huff has ever worked with Franklin, but it's time to get on the same page here, and it's not even the same page, but just calm him down. One of the assets that YD has is Pascal Ferreras in the infield. The shortstop comes in, and he's a guy around the dugout in the locker room. He's going to always wear that smile, and that's something that Franklin needed right now. A little pat on the back, smile from Ferreras. Nothing crazy to change here. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just calm down, throw your pitches, get it over the plate, and let your defense play for you.
So now Franklin trying to work out of a jam. Bases juiced for Carter Putz. Nobody out. Bottom of the first, no score. And a swing and a miss on the first offering from Putz. And you're right, you've got to calm down a pitcher in a situation early in a game like this. The tide can turn either way. Big momentum for Franklin if he can get out of it. But Harwich, they're looking to bury the Red Sox with the bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the first. So Franklin trying to work out of a jam. He comes set. And here comes the 0-1 pitch to Carter Putz. It notches the strike zone. Looked a little low and outside, but a good frame by Cody Huff. And it's a 0-2 count.
Now, sometimes you need something like that. You need a strike. You need a gift. And Cody Huff continues to be a commander of the battery for YD. And now it's time for Carter Putz to put the ball in play on 0-2.
No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch to Putz misses outside. You've got Levens at third base. He had a single on the first pitch of the bottom of the first, was ultra aggressive, the leadoff hitter. Chris Newell then had a single on a full count pitch. And then Brock Wilkin, who's on first, drew a 4-pitch walk. Bases loaded, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out, bottom of the first. And Carter Putz at the plate. the first baseman for the Mariners. And the 1-2 pitch. Hit towards center field. It's going to find grass. One run comes around to cross, and Harwich leads 1-0 as the Mariners go station to station in the bottom of the first and take a 1-0 lead on an RBI base hit from Carter Putz.
Well, if you're Zach Franklin, everything up until that moment can almost be written off as weak contact, especially the first two singles, but that one was an absolute rope from Carter Putz. And now it's time not to panic, but to start thinking about what you're doing and maybe start to change your approach here, because so far Harwich is not fooled.
Enter Jordan Beck, making his sixth appearance of the season. Hitting just shy of 300 out of Tennessee, and the right-handed hitter up. His team with a 1-0 lead, bottom of the first, bases loaded, nobody out. And the pitch misses high from the right-hander, Zach Franklin.
That's a breaking ball that never really broke and missed high, which means that he never really had a good grip on the ball. And you're right, it is misty. It's not especially wet, but you have to wonder how that is really playing into Franklin's performance so far, the fact that he does have to deal with some conditions.
The 1-0 pitch, skied foul out of play. The misty conditions, and the same is in the forecast expected for tomorrow as well. So we'll see how that could potentially affect the schedule here in the coming days, as YD is on its second of a 4-game road stretch, as they were able to beat the Anglers last matchup, and they've won 3 in a row atop the East Division. A 1-ball, 1-strike pitch, not just the strike zone, lower portion again, and now a ball and 2 strikes as Zach Franklin, desperate for an out, he surrendered 3 singles and issued a 4-pitch free pass to Brock Wilkin, as Levens came around to score on the RBI base hit from Carter Putz. And the 1-2 pitch fouled away. We'll do it again. As Rick Emerson signals to the Mariners dugout. Rick Emerson, the home plate umpire, hey, give me some more baseballs. A lot of foul balls here in the bottom of the first. 3 hits so far, and you're going to be exchanging balls out a little bit more during this contest with the wet conditions, as the rain has picked up a little bit. Still just that mist, but it seems like, to me, Brad, it's coming down with a little more velocity now, but it's misty, it's foggy. It's an interesting atmosphere here at White House Field for some baseball, but it's going on bottom of the first. The pitch is cracked towards center field. 1 run gonna come across to score. Brock Wilkin advances to third. And again, station to station base hit with the bases loaded and nobody out, and a 2-0 lead for the Mariners in the bottom of the first after the RBI hit from Jordan Beck.
So now I'd like to see Tom Vasella get out there, the pitching coach for YD, and try to figure out what's going wrong here, because Zach Franklin is your starter. And we were not made aware of any opener situation. Zach Franklin is supposed to give YD 4, 5, 6 innings today. It's not a 2-3 inning situation, and here comes Scott Pickler. This could be it for Franklin.
This could be it. They may pull the plug early on the right-hander, as Scott Pickler's walking out, left foot in front of right foot. He ganders toward the bullpen, then he points the finger. The night is through for Franklin. Surrenders 2 runs. He's responsible for 3 more as we send it to break next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein as Jacob Metter has entered the game, the right-hander out of Texas Christian University, as the Horned Frogs right-hander comes into a situation, 3 runners on base, nobody out, bottom of the first as Franklin failed to record an out in his outing as first pitch fired by Metter's fouled away by Preisner, the shortstop for Harwich. So Franklin's outing is through. He surrendered 4 hits and a walk as he faced 5 batters. And 2 runs have come across, and he's responsible for all 3 on the base paths now as Metter comes in with the bases loaded, nobody out, bottom of the first, and a 2-0 advantage for Harwich as they're looking for more in this frame. The ball is popped up toward third base. Peyton Graham under it on the left side, called off by Pascal Ferreras, and he gloves it for the long-awaited first out in the bottom frame of the first. So 1 away, bases loaded, and now Metter, if he could induce the ground ball, be a masterful job of coming into a bases loaded, nobody out situation. But he'll face Aaron McKeithen, the catcher from UNC Charlotte, hitting him.
You said, I'm sorry to cut you off, Will, but
No,
you're
you're
right.
good.
Ground ball is the move, right? And
Yeah.
Metter needs to go with the changeup low in the zone and try to induce that ground ball. That's the only way you keep your team in the game here.
The 5th outing of the summer for Metter, making it right now, but definitely the earliest he's come out of the bullpen, the earliest any reliever has come out of the bullpen for the YD Red Sox. YD has gotten great length in most of their starts as that ball is cracked to the left side. Under it is Knight in center field. Tagging at third is Wilkin. He's running home. The throw goes to third, so Wilkin is able to come across after the strike from Briley Knight. And there's 2 outs, but another run comes across, so it's a 3-0 lead for Harwich.
Well, if you're Metter, you can't be upset about that. You got 2 outs and 2 batters. That's really all that can be asked of you. And to give up only 3 runs would be a massive win for YD. So now just focus on Ben Malgiri, who deserves your utmost respect and attention here.
Out of the Northeastern, playing left field today. And the pitch misses inside from the right-hander. So it was Metter who came in to face Preisner with the bases loaded. He got him to pop out to Pascal Ferreras, and then Aaron McKeithen popped up to center field, but it worked as a sacrifice fly. Brock Wilkin came across to score the 3rd run of the frame for Harwich. A 3-0 lead for the Mariners, bottom of the first. They've got runners on first and second. Breaking ball notches the outer portion of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Jacob Metter working his 5th outing of the summer. He has thrown 6 2/3 and recorded 9 strikeouts to 2 walks, with a 6.75 ERA through 6 2/3 thus far on the summer, as that ball is sprayed, hit hard to the left side, but foul.
So now if you're Jacob Metter, it's a 2-strike count with 2 outs. It's completely advantage you and an opportunity to really emerge as the hero of this game. Limit the damage. 3 runs given up in the first inning. It's been done before.
But what hasn't been done before, first time this season that YD has allowed 5 consecutive base runners to reach base. That's what's happened here in the bottom frame of the first, a 3-0 lead for the Mariners. They've already had 4 hits in this frame, 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes as Metter comes set. And the pitch to Malgiri is fouled away to the left side once again. So first time this season that they've kind of had that crooked number on the pitching staff side when you look at in terms of consecutive base runners allowed. Now you go back to that blowout against Katuitt. Yeah, Katuitt had some big frames, but they never had 5 consecutive base runners to reach.
And it's funny, too, because YD gave up 4 twice this year, 4 straight, but the last one came against Chatham at home.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, so Metter comes in. He's able to get the job done, cleans up a little bit of a mess, and it's a 3-0 advantage after an inning for the Mariners. They knock out Zach Franklin, YD's starting pitcher, and 4 hits, 3 runs come across, and a 3-0 lead for Harwich. To the second we go next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Pascal Ferreras to lead things off here in the top of the second. And the first pitch grounded to the right side. And a step on first base. Ferreras is retired after Carter Putz was able to glove it and step on the pillow over at first. So Ferreras is retired, and it's now Tanner Smith, the designated hitter, coming to the plate.
Yeah, surprised to see Tanner Smith DHing, and even though he can be pretty good with the bat, his strength is defense, specifically the corner outfield that he's done a really good job with this year.
Dombrowski's first pitch firing in there for a strike. Trey Dombrowski, big old left-hander, 6'5", 225. The rising junior at Monmouth, and that ball hit towards center field. Tanner Smith has himself a base hit. A one-out single here in the top of the second. He gets aboard, and here comes the first baseman, Drew Bowser.
So Tanner Smith shutting me up with a great frozen rope up the middle, and that's how it starts. YD isn't going to get the 3 runs back in one swing, and they're especially not going to get the 3 runs back on one swing with Tanner Smith. He knows he's not that kind of hitter. So just do what you do best, get on base, and set the table for the power guys, Drew Bowser included.
Drew Bowser and Tanner Smith, they are known for their extra base hit power, but not necessarily the long ball. Both led their respective universities in doubles. Tanner Smith was 4th in the country, breaking a new Oregon record, but he has a single here in the top of the second as Bowser, the true freshman out of Stanford, still looking for his first hit here with the YD Red Sox, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count here against Trey Dombrowski. The big left-hander who's no stranger to the YD Red Sox. He carved out of the bullpen, got 10 strikeouts out of the pen against YD. Was really carving YD up. The Monmouth lefty, very talented, has a big hard fastball. And last time, despite Harwich losing, they may have found something in that outing. Hey, this guy could potentially start for us. And so he went 3 2/3 against YD, had 10 strikeouts during the outing, and so far on the season, he's been pretty successful. 5 2/3 innings and 13 strikeouts. How about a K per 9 like that as that ball's fouled back on the 2-1 pitch, so it evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So through 2 games, 5 2/3, 13 Ks and no walks. So he's done a nice job on the mound so far this season and has yet to surrender a run through 2 outings, finally getting the nod. And, hey, why not crack into the rotation after he basically worked 4 masterful innings last time? That was at Red Wilson Field last time he took the mound, so he's well rested as well. June 29th, when the YD Red Sox were able to top Harwich 6-4. As the rain continuing to fall, the pitch, swing and a miss, and Bowser is retired on the strikeout, the 3rd for Dombrowski. So kind of reminiscent of the last time we saw the left-hander square off against the Red Sox. A lot of strikeouts for the big southpaw as Zach Liu now comes to the plate. And Zach Liu, surprising game and not a surprise to many players, hit above 300, about a 300 career hitter at Cal State Fullerton, but had an 0 for 14 start in the Cape Cod League, coming off a 3-hit performance at Chatham last time Whitey was in action. And he comes to the plate with 2 outs and a runner aboard in the top of the second.
And just mentally what that does for you, being a successful player at the collegiate level, at a high level of college baseball, coming to the Cape, you finally got here, you're draft eligible, the scouts are there, and you go 0 for 14.
As the pitch is notched for a strike, a ball and a strike, and Dombrowski working here against Liu. And you mentioned the 0 for 14 stretch, but he turned it around quickly, as hits in his last 2 games.
And that's a big deal. Those 2 hits are more valuable than they are on paper.
Swing and a miss on the 1-1 pitch, so a ball and 2 strikes here to Zach Liu.
Because it shows the scouts that he can respond, that he's not just going to fold on the times that the weeks or 2 that he goes 0 for 14, because everyone's going to go 0 for 14 eventually. That's just how it works. Question is, can you bounce back?
And the 1-2, swing and a miss. And another punch out for the left-hander, Dombrowski, with 4 strikeouts through 2 scoreless frames. And we send it to the bottom of the second next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Happy to be alongside Brad Klein and Jacob Metter. He inherited a bases-loaded, nobody-out situation in the bottom frame of the first, but he was able to get out of it. He only had to face 4 hitters. He got a pop-up, a couple pop-ups, and then the strikeout. So actually faced 3 hitters but did surrender a run, as Hal Hughes, the 9th place hitter in the order, coming up to lead off the bottom of the second for the Mariners. But, I mean, 3 hitters, 3 outs with the bases loaded and nobody out, coming out of the bullpen in the bottom of the first. You'll take it.
Yeah,
Jacob Metter doing a nice job inheriting a messy situation.
And it wasn't even his run.
It wasn't his run. That credited to Franklin. His final line ends up being 0 innings, but 4 hits allowed and 3 earned runs. A ball and 2 strikes. And the wind from Metter. And he gets the punch out, so Hughes is looking. And he comes in. 4 hitters he's faced out of the pen and 4 outs. A pop-up from Preisner, a pop-out to center field from McKeithen, which was a sac fly. A strikeout to Malgiri to end the first. And to begin the second, he gets Hal Hughes looking. Lineup card flips back over. Tatum Levins now to the plate. And he's what began that nightmare of a bottom of the first for the YD Red Sox on the first offering from Franklin. First pitch at the bottom of the first, it was Levens who had himself a base hit. The designated hitter, he knows he's only hitting today, and he knew one thing. He wanted to be aggressive on the first pitch from Franklin. He was, but not on the first pitch from Metter. It's a strike. 0-1 the count, and the pitch misses low, gets away from Huff, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. The pitch missed low in the dirt. And a ball and a strike here to Tatum Levens out of Pittsburgh. 1 home run on the season. Now on a 3-game hitting streak after notching a single to lead off the bottom of the first, hitting .300 on the season. And the 1-1 from Metter. And their first strike 2, so a ball and 2 strikes on 89 miles per hour as Cody Huff was able to frame it right on the outside part of the zone. Metter gets the signs as the rain continues to fall. The 1-2 misses low. Huff is able to block it as it bounces in the dirt. Not close on the pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out. Nobody on, a 3-0 lead for the Mariners here in the bottom of the second.
Now the trick for Metter in his first 4 batters has been that he's getting ahead of the count. And now it's 2-2. This is a crucial pitch.
And the 2-2 misses low. Scoots away from Huff. And the count now bobbles up to 3 balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out. You've got Chris Newell on deck, who singled and came around to score in the first, just as Tatum Levens as well. The 3-2. Fouled away. We'll do it again. But Harwich able to take an early lead, and if the rain should continue to pick up, it should be noted that 5 innings is the complete.
Oh, it's noted.
It's noted? All right. You'll pull that trick out of your bag as the pitch misses high. And it's going to be a free pass issued to the leadoff hitter, Tatum Levens.
You were saying, what should I note?
You should note everything.
Okay.
Get your OneNote out on Microsoft, right? Yeah. As now Chris Newell comes to the plate. As Levens gets aboard for the second consecutive at-bat, second consecutive inning as well. Here in the bottom of the second, there's Harwich already a second time through the order, but a new pitcher on the mound, Jacob Metter, came in with nobody out in the first after Franklin faced 5 hitters but gave up 4 hits in a 4-pitch walk to Brock Wilkin, so wasn't his day, and Scott Pickler had enough. Didn't even wait to go mid-count in that situation. Walked out after the single from Beck. And it was all Metter ever since. A breaking ball sharp and tight, but not a strike. 2 balls and no strikes. Or no, 1 ball and 1 strike here, rather. Scoreboard deked me out, as you like to say. And 1 out, 1 aboard.
I hate it when that happens. It happens all the time. And I feel like we should take responsibility for it, but it's tough.
Yeah, blame it on someone else. Why not? And the pitch grounded to the right side. Bowser gloves it at first. He thinks about going to second, but thinks better of it and steps on the first base bag. So 2 outs as Levens advances to second on the ground out. And that brings up Brock Wilkin. And Brock Wilkin, very good hitter, but we didn't talk much about hitting last time he was at the plate. Just 4-pitch walk. And it would be kind of difficult to face Brock Wilkin with multiple guys on base, and Zach Franklin probably felt that same sentiment. Wasn't his day with the command, and you don't want to leave a ball up to him, so it was a 4-pitch walk. But now coming to the plate with a runner in scoring position, coming off the heels of a game where Wilkin had a home run. He's had 2 consecutive 2-hit performances. He comes to the plate here in the bottom of the second, 2 outs. A 3-0 lead for Harwich as Levens is in scoring position on second base. All the Mariners, or at least most of them that I can see with the high socks today, the high Red Sox, those cream pants, the blue jersey with Mariners stitched across the front in red lettering. Wilkin with the red helmet as he grabs some pine tar here on a wet day and puts his gloves on it. Now bat resting on his shoulder after he watched the first pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. And the 1-0 pitch from Metter misses low. So Brock Wilkin, 4-pitch walk in his first at-bat, and he's seen 2 consecutive balls here in his second at bat in the bottom of the second. 2 outs, 1 runner aboard, and a 2-0 count here to Brock Wilken. Batter comes set. And here comes the 2-0 pitch to Brock Wilken. Crack to the left side, hit hard, and a diving play made by Lou, but it's out of his glove. Down Brock Wilken with extra bases. Lou was sprinting on the left side, gloved it, but slid out of his glove, and a double for Brock Wilken as the ball had some good run on it. It really cut on Lou, who was in left field, and it was moving to his right. He moved over to his right to try to make the play, but not able to get there in time. It hits down on the grass, and Brock Wilken has a 2-out RBI double in the bottom of the second, a 4-0 lead for the Mariners.
And now, if you're Scott Pickler, you start to second-guess yourself. Zach Lou is not a natural outfielder. He can play corner outfield in a pinch, but you wonder if you had a Peyton Graham or even a Pascal Ferreras who has more speed out there, if it would have been a different result. Tanner Smith. A lot of other guys that you typically see out in left, but not today.
Zach Lou primarily playing infield at Cal State Fullerton. Not able to get to that ball, so a double for Wilken. Carter Putz at the plate, had an RBI single with the bases loaded and nobody out in the first. Breaking ball in there for a strike on the 1-0 offering, so count evens, a ball and a strike, 2 outs, Wilken on second. And Wilken continuing to prove to be one of the best hitters across the league. One of the most impressive freshmen in the entire ACC this past season at Wake Forest. And he's standing on second base. The pitch to Putz, grounded up the middle. Coming up on it is Ferreras at short, over to Bowser at first, and Putz is retired, so is the side, but one comes across on an RBI double from Wilken, and through 2, Harwich on top, 4-0. We'll be with you next for the third on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. A big swing and a miss here in the top of the third inning by Briley Knight to start off the frame as YD has some ground to make. Briley Knight is quarterbacking the would-be comeback down 4-0. The breaking ball is on the lower portion of the strike zone. 0-2 now to Briley Knight from Trey Dombrowski. Big lefty for Harwich, who struck out 10 Red Sox in his last meeting with YD. And Knight watches the changeup just off. 1-2. Now Harwich scored 3 runs in the first, and 1 in the second. The 3 runs charged to Zach Franklin, the starter, who did not record an out. Jacob Metter got 3 crucial outs to strand 2 runners. Did give up while on the mound a run via sac fly, but again, that was charged to Franklin. The 2-2. Knight watches it skip low, so from 0-2 to 3-2, Briley Knight keeping the bat on his shoulders. Knight getting the start in center field today. And the payoff pitch is on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Briley Knight in his first at bat goes down looking for out number 1 in the 3rd inning. In comes Peyton Graham. So 1 out for Dombrowski. Graham popped out to first his last time up, Will.
No, he's been solid today. That's all I was going to say. And Whitey's got their work cut out for them, down by 4 with the lefty on the mound.
Peyton Graham, the Oklahoma Sooner, watches the fastball by his letters for ball 1. Dombrowski, the 6'5", 225-pound junior from Monmouth. Jersey boy at heart. And the lefty's curveball is fouled back to McKeithen's thigh, and he's shaken up. Takes a moment to regain his composure, and the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, does him a favor by walking back the ball to Dombrowski, buying him some time. Peyton Graham just put his hand on McKeithen's shoulder just to make sure he was okay, but he's up, he looks okay. Flips the ball back to Emerson and says, hey, let's go. The fog is sticking around. The drizzle not going anywhere. And it seems like the consensus around White House Field right now is if it stays like this, we're fine. As Graham fouls it back to McKeithen, same spot. And that's a stinger. Black and blue, an inch apart. And again, Emerson will walk it back to Dombrowski.
Ouch.
And McKeithen standing now with his hands on his knees. And it's pretty much the last spot that he wanted to be hit by a foul ball right there.
There's many spots you don't want to be hit.
Fair enough.
But that's the last spot. But you said the Southpaw's a Jersey boy at heart, just like yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. Jersey strong. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Peyton Graham with 1 out. Base is empty, and Graham grounds it slowly over to short. Preisner charging in and rifles over across the diamond to first in time for out number 1.
Graham really in a funk right now. When Brooks Lee left the team, you thought Graham, you know, he's going to be probably the strongest hitter on the team, but since he's left, he's 2 for 20. And it's been this guy at the plate who's actually been the strongest hitter on the team and in the league.
Wyatt Hoffman. They asked him what he was doing to change up his one struggling stat line, and he didn't even know. 5 for his last 10, struck out swinging in the first inning. But you're right, since Brooks Lee left a few weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago at this point, it's really been the Wyatt Hoffman show, and now the 3rd leading hitter on the Cape.
Now gets you noticed, won't it? You know you're struggling at the collegiate level, but you tear it up.
And with 2 outs, the base is empty. He lines it over to Brock Wilkin at 3rd, right to his chest. He seals the deal for the final out of the inning. The middle of the 3rd, YD goes down in order. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. In the bottom of the third inning, and it's Harwich 4, YD none. Jordan Beck, the right fielder, RBI single in the first inning, takes the first pitch fastball on the inside corner for strike one from Jacob Metter, the TCU Horned Frog, who delivered that fastball at only 87 miles an hour on the radar gun here at White House Field, and now a changeup that misses outside, count even at 1-1.
Yeah, and Beck, he was the final blow, so this is actually the only hitter that the right-hander hasn't seen in this order, as he was the last hitter to face Franklin back in the first.
1 ball and 2 strikes now, fastball at the knees. Jacob Metter working from the windup. Beck from Tennessee. And the big right-handed hitter swings and pops it foul out of play. So a ball and 2 strikes in the misty White House field. Metter came in with the bases loaded and got a couple of crucial outs, a pop out, a fly out, and a strikeout. The only problem for YD was that fly out was deep enough to go to center field and get one of those runs home. That was Brock Wilkin via the sac fly. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the curveball that missed high. And Jordan Beck watches the breaking ball in there, strike 3 called. Jacob Metter getting going early in the third inning with a backwards K in the book for Jordan Beck. 1 out for Harwich.
Really good pitch right there. You mentioned he was working the changeups early, and with that off-speed working with Metter, we know his fastball is really good. The right-hander getting the strikeout, and you also wonder how long Metter's going to go in this one. After coming in the first, he's going to be asked to eat up some innings for YD.
First pitch fastball popped up to the infield. Cody Huff calls it off, but no, Peyton Graham is the initiator, and Zach Preisner is retired on 1 pitch. So Preisner, the shortstop from Notre Dame, goes back to the dugout, and Aaron McKeithen, the catcher from UNC Charlotte, who had that RBI sac fly in the first inning at the dish with 2 away, no one on. McKeithen, the catcher, was hit, looked like on his right thigh twice, and that's the unpadded area for those catchers. Not only was it twice, but it was twice in a row off of foul balls by YD's Peyton Graham. Breaking ball just inside, 1 ball, no strikes at 75 miles an hour for Jacob Metter. You wonder how much that might play into this at-bat, or his mobility if he hits the ball. Count even at 1-1 as Metter goes to the fastball at 89.
And catchers just take a beating a lot of times. I mean, balls after balls and things that...
Nice frame by Cody Huff to steal a strike. Looked like it could have been low. Instead, it's a ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and no one on. Harwich 4, YD none. The Mariners scored 3 in the first and 1 in the second. Bottom of the third, and the fastball was high but chased. Popped up, foul ground, right side, and the first baseman, Bowser, makes the grab, side retired. No runs, no hits, and no one left on. At the end of 3, it's Harwich 4 and YD 0 right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network in the top of the fourth inning alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein, and YD with some ground to cover. Down 4-0, 3 runs for Harwich in the first inning and 1 in the second. A 0 posted by Jacob Metter in the third inning, and now Trey Dombrowski, the lefty, deals the first pitch fastball just outside to Cody Huff, who has himself a single on the day. 1 of 2 hits for the Red Sox in this misty, foggy, otherwise disgusting night. Breaking ball taken for strike 1. Count even at 1-1 now. And Cody Huff getting hits. That's really nothing new for the Red Sox. Ever since he came in, he has really contributed. Now 7 for his last 14. Slowly lined up the middle, gathered by the shortstop Preisner as he shifts over to his left. The throw is low, it goes out of play, and Cody Huff advances to second base.
Yeah, not getting a base hit there on an error on the shortstop. Preisner, who actually made a really nice initial play, slid over to his left, gathered it, but the throw wasn't there, and Huff is able to get to second on the air.
So it goes down as a single for Cody Huff. Or scratch that, an error, and then advance again on the throw.
If we had hometown scoring, maybe, but
Chase Luttrell, Cody Huff's roommate at the dish, the lefty from Long Beach State, and almost had a balk call there. Looked like Mikey Garcia, the second base umpire, was pointing something out, and then the other umpires conferred and decided that there was no balk, so Cody Huff stays put at second base after the error by Zach Preisner at short. Chase Luttrell struck out swinging his last time up. First runner in scoring position for YD today. The breaking ball slices the zone for strike 1. Trey Dombrowski, we mentioned the lefty from Monmouth. Now it's time to figure out if he can deal with the pressure against YD as a starter. And there is a different dynamic starting versus relieving. That's no secret. Luttrell grounds it sharply over to the right side. Diving to his left is Hughes, the second baseman. He can't corral it. Trickles to shallow right field, and Cody Huff running all the way. He comes around to score. The first run of the day comes for YD on an infield single by Chase Luttrell. It's now 4-1 in favor of the Mariners.
Nice job by Luttrell, grounding it to the right side. Not saying he hit that ball on the screws, but that's not what he needed to do. On a wet day, you've got to put contact in. A little slip over at second, but a true hit for Luttrell, and he gets on board. Nice job on the RBI.
So here's Pascal Ferreras, who takes the first pitch, changeup just low for ball 1. Aaron McKeithen, the catcher, with a long hold as he tried to steal the strike, but to no avail. The Western Carolina middle infielder, right-handed hitter, swings and pops it up. Foul ground to the right side. The first baseman Carter putts on for a look by the YD dugout. It bounces on the roof, out of play. So Pascal Ferreras, who's seen his fair share of uncompetitive at-bats, whether that be a strikeout or a foul out, a pop-out, he lives to see another pitch.
And he's gotten better over the past 4 games, just has K'd once after having 17 through the first about 10 games. He was striking out a lot, but he's cut down in the last few games.
And that's really been a big deal as Chase Luttrell is picked off on his way to second. The throw down by Putz in time. The tag applied by Preisner at second base. And Chase Luttrell, coming off a 3 stolen base performance, is out number 2, or rather out number 1 at second base. So from no out to runner on first to 1 out, no one on for Ferreras. The 1-1 is lined up the middle into center field, a base hit. A broken bat, 1 out single for Pascal Ferreras in the top of the 4th inning.
Ferreras producing YD bat to ball this inning, and they're finding some ground here.
3 consecutive Red Sox reach base safely. It was Cody Huff who started the frame, reaching on an error by Zach Preisner, the shortstop, and the throw got way below Carter Putz's mitt out of play. So he was on second base, and he was there when Chase Luttrell ripped the RBI single in the infield. That did the trick, though, as Cody Huff was running on contact on the ground ball to the right side, and he scored. And Pascal Ferreras now on first base with his single. 0-1 the count to Tanner Smith as the breaking ball is in there for strike one. Tanner Smith is 5 for his last 8 for YD. Singled his last time up, and the fastball taken on the outer half, 0-2 now. And Smith, a guy, despite how hot he's been and despite his .258 average, the upper echelon of the YD Red Sox, he has struggled to get everyday at-bats. Dombrowski comes set, runner goes, the pitch is wide for ball one, the throw down is not in time. Pascal Ferreras swipes second base with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning, and Tanner Smith at the dish.
Good swipe right there. Why not run when it's wet? The ball's going to travel in different ways. It may be more difficult to slide sometimes, but things get a little more slippery and a little more tricky, and Ferreras now in scoring position.
The second stolen base of the young season for Pascal Ferreras. And the 1-2 to Smith. Checked his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. Tanner Smith not happy with the call, and it did not look like the home plate umpire Rick Emerson deferred to either of his coworkers for any help. Tanner Smith thought he held up. So with 2 outs and a runner on second base, it's Drew Bowser. The Stanford Cardinal 0 for 10 to start as a Red Sox. Struck out swinging his last time up, but is yet to be in a situation this big. Down by 3, runner on second, and Bowser pops it foul out of play to the right side. In the top of the 4th inning, if Bowser can keep the line moving, it would be Zach Liu. No balls and a strike with 2 outs. Ferreras on second. Bowser swings and misses at the changeup. It was way high, but he just could not lay off. 0-2. Drew Bowser, the right-handed hitter, steps back in the box, gets the sign from his third base and head coach Scott Pickler. Trey Dombrowski gets the sign from his catcher Aaron McKeithen. Set of the belt, looking back at Ferreras on second. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. He got him on the elevated fastball. Sign retired. 1 run on 2 hits and a runner left. In the middle of the 4th, it's YD down by 3 right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
Welcome back to baseball here on the YD YouTube network. Tyler Henry, Corey Barbarian. Interesting setup here. We got a Harwich broadcaster. We got a Brewster broadcaster. We got a lot of action going on here as the Harwich Mariners taking on the YD Red Sox. And coming up here for the Harwich Mariners, it will be Ben Malgiri. Corey, good to have you here on the call.
Yeah, I'm here as a fan on my one day off that I get to finally travel around the Cape and do something.
No days off.
No, first pitch swing and a miss for a strike. And by Ben Malgiri, who wears number 4 for the Harwich Mariners, wearing their home navy blues today with the red helmets, cream pants, which I love. Second pitch is down, 1 ball, 1 strike. So I'm here on the Cape watching this game from all different angles. You know, we have to get the infrastructure to call a game from the outfield. Wouldn't that be so cool?
It would be amazing. Absolutely. As the next pitch to Malgiri swung on and tipped foul. And, you know, that's something I'd be interested to kind of get your opinion on here. The jerseys on the Cape, there are some clean kits here, but I think the Harwich Mariners do have one of the better ones with the cream pants.
Oh, the cream pants certainly make this look. I love the Chatham pinstripes. I love all the pinstripes on the Cape. I'll say the Brewster Whitecaps have a good teal jersey as well, but I'm certainly biased in that aspect.
Certainly. Next offering on the way. This one swung on and fouled off. And, you know, again, I know we're on the radio here as the visiting broadcast crew, but, you know, field conditions not exactly great here. It's tough to see. You got a fog, a mist, about anything you can have coming down, but nothing that's going to cancel baseball. And that's important because more than likely you're about to have 2 days off. I don't think we're playing baseball tomorrow.
You know, I might be pretty rusty after 2 games off or 2 days off, certainly. And it's tough having the family here for the first time and the only time all Cape. And the only chance at a home game would have been tomorrow when the Whitecaps play Orleans. It's been a great series between the Caps and the Firebirds, and the Birds come to Stony Brook for the first time tomorrow.
Absolutely. Pitch on the way. Malgiri swings on this, takes it high and deep out to left center field, tracking it back to the fence, looking up and making the catch is Hoffman, 1 away. So 1 down here. That'll bring up Hal Hughes, who is one of the actually, not even one of. He is the only remaining piece from that 2019 team. Harwich brought back 7 guys, very rare, from that 2019 team. He is the only one left here on the Cape.
I saw that when looking over the Harwich Mariners before the game that got rained out here at White House a few days ago. A lot of guys who had numbers from 2019, and not just with the Harwich Mariners, too. On the Whitecaps, only 1 guy was a 2019 Whitecap, their best hitter, Colin Davis.
Absolutely, as this is a rocket sent high and deep out to left field to the fence. It is gone. Hal Hughes tucks one over the left field fence, and that is something that tenured YD fans may have seen before in Game 2 of the championship series. Hal Hughes hit a bomb over the left field wall to give Harwich the opportunity to move on to the championship series against Katuitt, his first home run of the season, and it puts the Mariners on top 4-1.
You are just an encyclopedia of information, Mr. Tyler Henry.
Well, it helps that I was here 2 years ago. I'm kind of cheating, to be honest.
Kind of cheating?
I believe the only 2 broadcasters on the Cape to return in 2019 are myself and Colin Casey, my broadcast partner here for Harwich. But great to meet all of you guys and see some new faces here on the Cape. A lot of great talent coming through, not only on the field, but in the broadcast booths as well.
Oh, you're too kind. I'll tell you what, Will Connerly right now, who should be on this call, is currently calling this half inning for Nesson. So he got a home run in his arsenal.
Absolutely. So this first pitch will miss down in the dirt here to the leadoff man, Tatum Levens. And it's a good crew that YD have this year. Of course, I guess we're the B team today. But
we are the B team. We're the fill-ins.
A very solid A team.
And the A team will have Brad Klein called the top of the 5th. So tune your radios to us and keep your TV on Nesson.
Absolutely. Next pitch in there for a called strike here. Count goes to 1-1. Again, Tatum Levens working on a 2-run day. A walk and a single. That single coming back in inning number 1. Trying to reach base for a 3rd consecutive at bat. And a swing and a miss here. That'll miss the bat of Tatum Levens. Count goes to 1-2.
So you're off tonight in terms of the Harwich call.
Yes. So this is actually the first time. I started doing this when I was 16 years old. This is the first time I've ever been on 3 different broadcasts of the same game.
Well, down low ball, too. Have there ever been broadcasts you've been a part of that have had 3 shows to go on in the first place?
I don't believe so. I filled in as our guys were up on Nesson, filled in on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network, then jumped on Nesson for a half an inning, and now I'm here calling this game on the YD network. So Yeah, an interesting set of circumstances, but it works itself out as this ball is going to be swung on and chopped weakly down the first base line, charging in, picking it up, throwing to first in time for the out is Jacob Meter, and that will be out number 2.
Brad Klein, best of luck as you go up to the top of the 5th. You'll be heading out soon. Oh, I thought that was out number 3. My mistake. There's only been 2 outs. That's right.
Everybody kind of started to clear off that way. I did a kind of a panic check of the scoreboard to make sure. I thought the same thing you did.
No,
but
you're just saying that to make it seem like I'm not stupid here. You know,
we try to cover each other's backs.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. I have Brad's scorebook in front of me, but he'll take it up to the Nesson booth, of course. It's weird having a ball game in front of me I'm calling and not scoring it.
Yeah, fair enough. It's good to be a fan sometimes, as this ball is going to be chopped to second, picked up by Knight, throw to first in time, and that will end the inning. So we'll step away. When we come back, we'll have coverage of the visitors' half of the 5th. You're listening. You're on the YD YouTube network. Back to baseball here on the YD YouTube network. Tyler Henry, Corey Barbarian hijacking the YD broadcast here. Again, a member of the Harwich Mariners broadcast, a member of the Brewster Whitecaps broadcast. Bringing you coverage of this one while your normal beloved broadcasters are taking a couple of innings on Nesson. Pretty cool opportunity, as the first pitch here will be outside here for a ball.
Well, we just heard the feedback from Will Connerly. He said it was a really good inning.
Yep, absolutely. I was going to say, I'm sure there are some confused fans tuning into this game right now wondering who the heck are these guys. This next pitch is in for a strike to Zach Lent. So 1-1 the count, pitch on the way. Swing and a miss there, and I'll tell you what, Trey Dombrowski's been getting that pretty much all game long. A big swing and miss guy out of Monmouth, and this is his first start in a Harwich Mariners uniform after a great relief appearance against the YD Red Sox. Here we'll get a swing and a ball taken out into center field. This one dropping fast, but not fast enough, as taking it as Newell in center, 1 away.
I'm not sure what my favorite thing is about watching this as a fan. I've stood behind the YD dugout, and they're chirping everybody. They're communicating with all their teammates. And right behind it, when foul balls are hit toward that side, I saw a kid who had a wiffle ball bat try to cue it out of the scrum, and he was upset. Well, some of the guys were upset they didn't see the foul ball.
Yeah, you see some different things as a fan. As this pitch will get across for a strike on Briley Knight, and you say as a fan, but here you are. It seems like you can't get away from the broadcasting game with the headset on here. Working for YD.
It's truly #no days off.
No days off indeed. Check swing going across here. They say he went. Knight falls behind 0-2.
All right, so Will Connerly, tell us how your inning went so we can use your own words here.
It was solid. How's the level on this board?
Totally fine.
It's good. We got you.
Loud and
Can't
clear.
hear myself. So no, it was solid though. There was a home run hit.
Yep.
So that was cool. That was decent there. But it was a solid inning, and Harwich, of course, Mr. Henry, you're probably excited about the home run, but I know that when it rains, it pours for Harwich. Over 10 runs per game, you were saying, in their wins?
Yes.
But in their non-wins, it's not very pretty, so I'm expecting if they're going to win tonight, they might get a few more runs.
Yeah, that's your stat of the day. Harwich has won 5 games, 52 runs in those games. They have not won the other 8, 11 total runs in those games. Very all or nothing. as a swing and a miss. Off speed got him. Briley Knight down on strikes. That's 2 away.
And the best part is you gave out that stat without even checking your notes. You had that down pat. That's a broadcaster's broadcaster. Okay. Well, how about this? We lost the game to Orleans. They lost the game to Orleans 19-6, and then got blown out by Falmouth 14-2. The Whitecaps went 2-2 in their last 4 games, excluding the 12-0 rout of Hyannis yesterday. Their run differential was something like -20.
Wow.
And they were 2-2 in their last 4.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, you got to have a short memory. As this one flied out foul, and that's very important because obviously, it doesn't matter what your run differential is over 4 days. If you go 2-2, you pick up the same 4 points as anybody else.
Exactly, and they have a really good ability to eliminate those games. They came back and pitched a shutout against your team the next day.
Absolutely. This ball sent high and deep back to the fence. Tracking it is Newell, but he will step on the brakes at the warning track and make the catch for out number 3. Well, Corey Barbarian, it's been great being on the broadcast with you. We will step away. You'll be back to your usual broadcasters. Some familiar faces and rather voices returning to the YD broadcast. It's been great bringing you here on the YD YouTube network.
Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Glad to be back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network as YD's still down 5-1 despite the mammoth of a flyout for Peyton Graham. Brock Wilkin, the third baseman, reached base twice today with an RBI double in the second inning.
You mentioned glad to be back, and people hearing the voices of Tyler Henry and Corey Barbarian last inning. They didn't.
But now they're disappointing because now they have to deal with us.
Yeah, and there were a few comments like, "Who are these guys? I wish they were the YD broadcasters." And it was kind of rough. And in that situation, we were like, "Oops."
Zach Jacobs on in relief for YD. Count even at 1-1 to Brock Wilkin. Jacobs from UC Riverside. And the 1-1 breaking ball missed outside. 2 balls and a strike. So the Mariners up 5-1. Zach Jacobs is molding into his bullpen role now for the Red Sox. Big swing and a miss by Wilkin, count even at 2-2 now. And that's something that even in the first quarter, third of the season is still very fluid, especially for the pitchers. Where are you going to be? Zach Franklin, a big variable there.
Especially after today.
Especially after today. He's his first start as an official starter, if you want to call him that, as fastball misses inside for ball 3. And I say that
No,
because,
that's true, though.
Because
it's true. It just sounds,
what makes you an
yeah.
official starter, right? But this is his first scheduled start rather than an open, right?
Yep.
And the payoff pitch from Jacobs, spike curve, misses outside and low for ball 4, so that means that Wilkin is on base safely for the third time today. A leadoff base runner in the bottom of the 5th for Carter Putz. 1 for 2 for the Mariners. So now his role is very fluid, didn't record an out in his start. Zach Jacobs got shelled in his first outing as a starter, 2 innings, 7 runs, and now he's starting to perform a little bit better in the bullpen, but gave up the home run in his last relief appearance.
Yeah.
One ball and no strikes now to Carter Putz.
And no, that's a good point. It's hard to figure out, of course, when you're playing every day, one off day per week, and based on the characteristics of how guys are performing, it's hard to know, okay, who's going to be our starter, because a lot of guys on this roster are relief pitchers at their respective universities as well.
Jacobs included. Count even now at 1-1.
And then you think about this. What's going to happen with Domkowski? You know, you already lost Thorpe in the rotation. Franklin was a question mark. Jacobs was a question mark. So there are things to piece together with the rotation. Of course, solidified Luis Ramirez, of course, but other than that, you kind of are looking around.
Change up is fouled down the third base line, so we'll do it again at 1-2.
Like, how does Adam Meyer respond after the Chatham outing?
Right.
I mean,
there are a lot of the amount of variables outweigh the amount of common denominators on this team, even for a squad who is first in the East. You would think they'd have a lot more figured out than they do, but that's one of the very interesting things about the fluidity of summer baseball, especially with the draft coming up, especially it being a Team USA year.
It's ultra fluid here in the Cape Cod League.
The 1-2 is popped foul out of play down the first base side, so we'll do it again. Carter Putz from Notre Dame. Mentioned he was 1 for 2, RBI single in the first inning, a ground out in the second. It's up to Zach Jacobs to limit the base runners here. Harwich has 6 hits to produce those 5 runs, but quite a few walks to go along with those hits. Jacobs from the stretch, the 1-2, curveball in the dirt, count even at 2-2 now. And all started in the first inning, 3 runs given up by Zach Franklin. All of them charged to him. The final one was with Jacob Metter on the bump via sac fly. He came in, did his job.
It didn't do bad.
Gave up 2 runs of his own. And now Zach Jacobs in a full count with Carter Putz after walking the first batter of the 5th inning, Brock Wilkins. So he's on first base. The count is full. No one out in the bottom of the 5th inning. And YD down by 4. Runner goes, payoff pitch, line down the right field line, slicing into fair territory. It's a no-out double coming in for Carter Putz. He slides in safely, and both runners in scoring position with no one out as Brock Wilkin advances to third.
And you mentioned the weather earlier. I mean, the rain's been pretty consistent, and the only reason I'm saying this is on topic is if it were to just start downpouring, now you've got to the point where it's in the 5th, and they could technically call at any point, correct? Yeah.
5 innings, official game.
And hope that's not the case for YD. Hope you give him time to come back. But just saying, you know, I know the rain is supposed to pick up more than this, and the field is a little wet already.
And Jacobs checking back the runner at third. Brock Wilkin is picked off. He's caught between home and third. Now chased back by Cody Huff to third. And he is tagged by Cody Huff. A big, crucial, meaty second out recorded by Zach Jacobs and company. Brock Wilkin makes this first down, at third base. And a nightmare scenario for Harwich. Consolation prize is that Carter Putz advances to third on the pickoff.
That's big time right there. I mean, you're in a situation, second and third, nobody out, and you go to the pick. That's, big move there by Jacobs to get that lead runner out. Off the base paths, one away. Now you can still work, look for the strikeout, get out of the inning without surrendering a run.
First pitch fastball taken high by Jordan Beck, the Tennessee product. So it's a runner on third. That's Carter Putz, who doubled and advanced to third on the pickoff a minute ago. Jordan Beck 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single in the first. And the 1-0 breaking ball is in there. 1-1 the count now with the infield pinched in. And why not? Down by 4 in the bottom of the 5th inning, and like Will mentioned, you never know when this game could be called, and not just because of rain, but because of visibility. The fog not doing any favors, and it's the lights at White House Field that are bouncing off of the fog and compounding that problem. A ball and 2 strikes on a big swing and a miss by Jordan Beck, the right fielder. The Red Sox have won 3 in a row. Now down by 4 on the road in Harwich. The 1-2 found back to the screen, so we'll do it again. Jacobs going changeup, curveball heavy. Really haven't seen the fastball, especially late in the count. He's used it above the zone. But it looks like he's pretty hesitant, especially down by 4, to put that fastball in the strike zone against Jordan Beck. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. He got him on the fastball for out number 2. The second time Beck is retired via strikeout, and Zach Preisner, the shortstop, at the dish with 2 gone and a runner on third.
Jacobs, think about the situation he put up. Get the pick off, get the strikeout. Now you've got one more piece to the puzzle, and it's a great job of getting out of a jam.
Zach Preisner 0 for 2 on the day. Takes the changeup inside for ball 1. At 6 foot, 193 pounds, the junior from Notre Dame was named to the 2021 ACC Championship All-Tournament team. And the changeup is on the outside corner, count even at 1-1. But in 2021, Preisner hit .280, which was a bit of a step down from his 2020 season. He hit .306. Big swing and a miss or rather a foul ball at the changeup, and that's actually a blessing in disguise for YD there, because if Preisner hadn't gotten at least a slither of that bat on the ball, that's probably a run. Got away from Cody Huff. So a ball and 2 strikes, and Jacobs deals. Fastball fouled back. Well, Harwich, we mentioned, scored in bulk early on, and when they do that, typically it means they're going to win the game. Mm-hmm. They average nearly 11 runs per game in their 4 wins this year. And in the non-wins, either a loss or a tie, they score fewer than 2. Fastball in the dirt, got away from Cody Huff. He chases it up the first base line, and the runner Carter Putz stays put at third base. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs.
And it's overused, and I know it's raining now, but when it rains, it definitely is going to pour for Harwich on the offensive end.
You crack yourself up, don't you?
That was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it has to be true.
Sure. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on third. YD down by 4. Zach Jacobs working from the stretch, comes set of the belt, kicks and deals, and the spike curve turns around the hitter. Oh, Zach Freisner was frozen, and it was just inside. The count is now full. The third 3-ball count that Zach Jacobs has faced in this inning alone.
But if he gets out of this jam, it'd be very impressive.
Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. He got him on the curveball, side retired. Back-to-back strikeouts. Zach Jacobs works in and out of trouble. A walk, a double, and no runs come across the score against the UC Riverside righty to keep YD in the game. Now it's 5-1, still in favor of the Mariners right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network in the top of the 6th inning. It's 5 for Harwich, 1 for YD. And alongside Will Connolly, I'm Brad Klein. Wyatt Hoffman leading off the top of the 6th for the Red Sox. And Trey Dombrowski is still cruising for the Mariners. 4 hits allowed, only 1 run. And Hoffman grounds it up the middle. Should be an easy play for Preisner. He charges in, lofts it across the diamond. The throw is wide, and the tag unable to be applied by Carter Putz. And a leadoff base runner for YD on the wide throw by Preisner.
It's going to be interesting on what they call this.
So it looks like they're going to give Preisner another error. He was responsible for an error earlier in the game. So this would be his second.
And I think they gave Hoffman a hit. That's big because of the fact that, Brad, the hit streak now to 9 games.
Yeah.
That's why it was big. No other fact is. It would have been in jeopardy if it was an error.
Breaking ball in there for a strike to Cody Huff, who reached on an error by Preisner his last time up in the 4th inning. A throwing error that actually got him on second base and then ended up scoring on the RBI single by Chase Luttrell. No balls and a strike to Cody Huff, and Wyatt Hoffman taking a very modest lead off of first base, much to the chagrin of Dombrowski. Checks him back, and Hoffman was safe by a couple steps.
And if it is a hit, that's a very liberal hit. I mean, we go off with the score.
Hoffman gulps it down the right field line, slicing into foul territory, but Beck is there to make the catch. The right fielder under it for out number 1.
But good for Hoffman, right? Hit streak continues.
Hey, he'll take it.
Something to continue to talk about. Hit streaks, within hit streaks, sometimes you get lucky.
And the hit streak would be longer had it not been for that pinch hitting
0
appearance
for 1.
he had 0 for 1 against Orleans way back
because
when.
when we talked to him after he had a 7 game, he said, I thought it was 8, and I said, no, you were 0 for 1 against
and he was
Orleans.
quick to correct you, too. It's a matter of pride.
And I was quick to correct him.
Yeah. Wyatt Hoffman checked back
Yeah.
at first again by Dombrowski, so he knows that Hoffman's speed could be a problem, especially with the extra base potential of Chase Luttrell. Luttrell lays down a bunt. Instead, it's a beauty. Dombrowski, the lefty, turns around, fires over to first. Not in time.
Now, what are they going to call this for Mr. Luttrell? Not in time, but was he there in time?
It looked like the throw actually might have beaten him, but the throw was a little wide, pushed Carter Putz off the bag, and they give him an infield single.
They put it on the board, though. They put it on the board. We haven't checked the point streak.
We have to check the point streak, but it's an infield single for Chase Luttrell as of now. That's the second infield single for Luttrell today.
And for the guy who on the metrics, he has the most bat speed on the team, but 2 infield singles, he'll take it. I mean, ask any hitter, they're going to take any single, any way, shape, or form that you get it. And now they're talking.
Mikey Garcia, Mike Hinojosa, and Rick Emerson, the home plate umpire, discussing. They're going to keep Luttrell on first base. Now it's a runner on first and second with 1 out in the bottom, or rather top, of the 6th inning for Pascal Ferreras.
I wonder what the discussion was. I mean, he said safe off the bag, and he had the best viewpoint of that call. But it could have been a deferral to see if Emerson saw something potentially. You never know.
Luttrell on first, Hoffman on second. Ferreras 1 for 2 on the day. Fastball just below the knees for a ball 1. It was a broken bat single for Pascal Ferreras up the middle his last time up. Windy down by 4 would certainly order one of those off the menu. Tanner Smith on deck for the Red Sox. Dombrowski facing the most trouble he's seen today. Fastball misses low by the shins. 2 balls, no strikes. And as soon as that one hit the mitt of McKeithen, the catcher, Pascal Ferreras threw up his left hand and said, everyone stay put. McKeithen caught it.
Man, this is an opportunity to do some damage here with a couple runners aboard.
2 balls, no strikes. Ferreras watches the breaking ball in the dirt, and Wyatt Hoffman got about 35 feet off the bag at second before scurrying back, and McKeithen threw the mask down. Pascal Ferreras stays at home plate. 3 balls, no strikes.
Look at Ferreras' cleats. I think you described this earlier in the year, Ross Dunn getting all that gunk off his cleats. Look at Ferreras, and I think that's going to be an issue now for a lot of the players as the rain hasn't stopped since first pitch. You think about the cleats, however heavy the cleats are, add a few more pounds, add a little bit, because there's stuff that gets stuck between those metal cleats, and the only way you get them out is you clank the cleats hard, and it makes for a messy bag on the way home as well. You've got a dirty old uniform, a muddy old uniform, and cleats, and that's why they want to grind to try to win this one.
And Steve Gruenberg, the pitching coach, is trying to clean up the mess on the field. And on the stat sheet for Trey Dombrowski right now, 3 balls and no strikes with 1 out. Runner on first and second for Pascal Ferreras, who only a couple of games ago hit a home run that still hasn't landed at Red Wilson Field, the first of the season for Ferreras. See if he has the green light right now. Dombrowski from the stretch looking back at Hoffman at second. The fastball misses high for ball 4. A 1-out walk for Pascal Ferreras loads the bases for Tanner Smith.
And this is your opportunity right here to get Dombrowski out of the game, of course, but get back in the game. Tanner Smith, why don't you order an extra base hit off the menu in this situation?
A lot of action in the Harwich bullpen right now, but this batter belongs to Dombrowski. No surprise, a lefty-lefty matchup in his favor. So it's Hoffman on third, Luttrell on second, Ferreras on first with 1 out for Tanner Smith, the Oregon Duck. And Smith lays off the breaking ball in the dirt. It goes to the backstop past McKeithen. Everyone advances. That includes Wyatt Hoffman. He comes around to score, and YD down by 3 in the top of the 6th. So fresh off the mound visit with his pitching coach Gruenberg, McKeithen just could not corral the breaking ball, and Dombrowski is charged with his second run of the day. It's now 5-2 in favor of the Mariners. Not out of the woods, far from it. Luttrell on third, Ferreras on second, Tanner Smith at the dish, represents the tying run. Breaking ball again, he goes right back to it. It hits the outside corner for strike one.
And a huge opportunity for Smith to get something in his wheelhouse and get extra bases because you've got the bases loaded in this situation.
The 1-1 to Smith is lined to deep left field, chasing back Malgiri. He makes the catch, and Luttrell tagging up from third base. The throw down is cut off, and both runners advance. Chase Luttrell is the third run, and YD down by 2 in the top of the 6th.
And that's a great way to execute in that situation. Smith, of course, eyeing extra bases as any hitter would in that situation. However, he's able to bring a run in by hitting the ball deep enough in the outfield, and Malgiri not able to get it home in time, and YD clawing back, and they're taking advantage of some infield hits in this situation in this inning, but they're making Harwich pay and coming back into the game.
So the Red Sox are down by 2. Drew Bowser grounds it over to second. Should be an easy play for Hughes. He gathers, he fires in time. Sign retired. But YD tacks on a pair in the top of the 6th inning on 2 hits with 1 runner left. In the middle of the 6th inning, it's Harwich 5 and YD 3 right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network in the bottom of the 6th inning, Harwich 5, YD 3, and Aaron McKeithen, the catcher, pops it up a mile high over to short. Pascal Ferreras makes the catch. No, make that Wyatt Huffman. Scratch that. Pascal Ferreras again for out number 1. So this one I thought that YD was playing some Rubik's Cube action with the infield. It is Ferreras. Pop out to the shortstop for McKeithen on the first pitch he sees from Zach Jacobs. So YD scores 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning. And a lot of that comes from sloppy infield. It did not help Dombrowski, that's for sure. And no errors charged to Harwich in that inning, but it was some sloppy play. A little play here, a little play there, infield single, bunts, you name it, that gifted YD the ability to score 2 runs. That's no surprise. Harwich is last in the East in runs allowed to earned run differential. 57 runs given up going into this game, 46 earned runs. That's minus 11. That's the worst mark in the CCBL. YD going into this game, second worst, minus 10.
Yeah, and it shows that you're pitching well, but the defense isn't helping you much. That difference shows that, hey, pitchers are letting up runs that they shouldn't be letting up. Plays that should be made that are called errors.
First pitch fastball, popped foul over our heads, now the play. No balls and a strike to Ben Malgiri, who won most outstanding player in the CAA tournament for Northeastern when they won and got the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. In fact, he hit 5 home runs in 4 games.
Solid.
Good mark. Respectable. A ball and 1 strike as he takes the changeup in the dirt. And Zach Jacobs, the righty from UC Riverside, deals again. He goes to the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And it's like a lot of guys, they heat up at the end of the season. That's when you want to play your best baseball. That's what Malgeri did, and a couple guys on YD as well.
Grounded over to third. High hop for Peyton Graham. And across the diamond, it's scooped out by Drew Bowser from the dirt. Grab the shovel. Drew Bowser with a great play to save an out for the UC Riverside righty, Zach Jacobs.
The shovel. You got to grab it.
You like that?
I'll go grab it. You got to direct me where the shed's at.
What is this conversation? What's happening right now?
Well, you're doing the PXP, but
yes,
we've got bottom 6.
Oh, okay. Bottom of the 6th, YD down by 2. 2 outs in this frame. Zach Jacobs actually pitching probably better than we've seen him all day. And the first pitch curveball taken for strike 1 from Hal Hughes. 1 for 2 today, a strikeout and a homer.
Yeah, all year, really. He's throwing the ball well.
Another breaking ball. That one misses high. A ball and 1 strike to Hughes.
But the job from Metter today, I mean, it's huge. It's really hard to come out of the bullpen.
Breaking ball, checked his swing, went around 1-2.
With nobody out in the first. I mean, you just got done throwing, warming up as a pitcher before the game. Then you just got to get hot immediately. And Metter did a good job.
Breaking ball, line left field, it falls, a base hit. 2-out single for Hal Hughes in the bottom of the 6th, and Harwich treads water just when Zach Jacobs was trying to figure it out.
And his last 2 at-bats, pretty good. Hard hit balls to the left side. Home run and then the single. So he's piecing the ball up pretty good in those last 2 at-bats, and he's able to do a pretty good job.
So with 2 outs, Zach Jacobs, his day is done. Scott Pickler going to another righty, and we'll tell you everything you need to know about the fresh arm for the Red Sox on the other side. Right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, the Red Sox down by 2. On the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, still the bottom of the 6th inning, 2 gone. And Ross Dunn, the lefty, comes in to replace Zach Jacobs. Full disclosure, I thought it was a righty, and not only because I'm playing the odds, there's one lefty in the pen, but Scott Pickler pointed up his right finger, and typically that's colloquial for go to the righty out of the bullpen. But the first pitch, chin music, pushes the lefty Tatum Levens off the plate for an interesting ball 1.
Ross Dunn, he's been electric this year. 7 innings tossed, 16 Ks, and just 1 hit allowed. He's dirty out of the pen.
Had 8 strikeouts in his last outing against Hyannis. The 1-0. Breaking ball missed low, smothered behind the plate by Cody Huff. To keep the runner on first, that's Hal Hughes.
When you have 8 strikeouts out of the pen, usually all your pitches are working. He said nope, just the fastball.
In that 8 strikeout performance, said he never got warm, and it was a day pretty similar to today. Big swing and a miss by Levens. 2 balls and a strike now. I think Hyannis was a little less enjoyable in terms of the weather. It's really not cold right now at White House Field. A little misty, a little rainy, a little wet. Had to put the laptop away, but in Hyannis it was cold, especially for the Cape. It was very cold, and Ross Dunn was never warm. 2 balls and a strike for the hard-throwing lefty, and the breaking ball in the dirt for ball 3. So this is interesting because Ross Dunn has gone predominantly, pretty much, you can call it 50-50 at this point with 4 pitches thrown, to the breaking ball, despite his fastball reaching 98 at one point. And when he wasn't even warm in Hyannis, it was 96, which is pretty darn good, too. Fastball, here it comes. Popped shallow, foul territory. Third base side, and Peyton Graham comes on right in front of the Harwich dugout. Sign retired. Well, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. At the end of 6, it's 5 for Harwich and 3 for YD right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. We'll be right
back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, and we're back. Brad Klein, Will Connerly here with you. Top of the 7th, a 5-3 score. Mariners have the lead, but they also have their starter still in the ballgame. Top of the 7th.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised to see Dombrowski out there, not only because it's rare to see a starter in the CCBL in the 7th inning, but really because he was in trouble in the last frame.
Zach Liu pops it up in the infield. Who's going to call it? It's the catch by Brock Wilkin. Eventually able to call it off and make the play.
Been there. Hey, Pascal Ferreras or Wyatt Hoffman at short. Which one was it? Still don't know. It was Pascal Ferreras. Yeah.
Well, they all crowded the infield around the hump in the middle of the infield, which is the mound that the big 6'5" left-hander is standing on top of. And
so he's in the way, is what you're saying.
Well, Dombrowski got off the mound, and then you had the shortstop Preisner come up on it, and then Wilkins said, no, I'm going to get it. I'm bigger than all you guys except Dombrowski, and he caught it. So 1 away, and that brings up Briley Knight. situation right here, top of the 7th, a 5-3 lead for the Mariners. YD trailing by 2. First offering is a strike on the inside corner, and enter pinch hitter Nate Baez into the game. So the rare off day for Nate Baez, no more after 2 strikeouts from Briley Knight. Enter the Arizona State Sun Devil, swing and a miss on the offering from the lefty.
Bottom line is, in the CCBL, you're playing 6 of 7 days. No one's going to be healthy. These players are not used to playing, A, in a wood bat league, and B, in a situation where they have to play 6 of 7 days. Nate Baez is no exception to that rule, and I think this is an educated guess, the reason he got the off day, pseudo off day, if you want to call it that, is he was working on his shoulder before the Chatham game a couple days ago. That's something I noticed, and again, not always going to be 100% when you're playing pretty much every day, but an opportunity for him to rest up whatever might be ailing him. In this case, I think it's his right shoulder.
The 2-2, fouled away to the left side, pulled foul. So that mist has stopped, but very wet day here at White House Field. The rain really hasn't stopped till about now. You know, it was consistent mist most of the day with the fog and the action, and the lefty delivers the 2-2, popped up right side. And who's going to go for it? Carter putts down the first base line and over on the right side. Putts not able to get to it, so Baez stays alive. Baez, though, Arizona State projects to be one of the only catchers returning on their roster. A couple graduated, one transferred as ASU got a new head coach. And you've got Baez, who leads the team for doubles. He's a very versatile guy. He was a middle infielder turned catcher, leading the team with 4 doubles. He's shown really good spot with the bat over the past week. The 2-2, swing and a miss, and Baez strikes out off the bench. And now there's 2-way here in the 7th. So the southpaw trying to complete 7 innings. Trey Dombrowski in his first start.
So here's a little trivia question for you. I'm sure there's more than one correct answer. Can you name a major league catcher who started as a middle infielder? I have one off the top of my head.
Current?
No. I mean, not the one I'm thinking of.
Pitch misses upstairs. Jason Veritek.
Here's the problem with this question. You could be right. I don't think you are. Should I just tell you?
You can tell me.
So Carlos Ruiz was drafted as a second baseman.
Ball skied up to the right side. Who's going to call it? And it's going to be caught by Hal Hughes. And there was a question on who's going to call it. Hal Hughes had to back up to right field and then dives to make the play in front of the right fielder, Jordan Beck. So 3 outs, 7 frames complete for the lefty. And we send it to the bottom of the 7th. A 5-3 lead for Harwich. Ross Dunn back to the mound next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein. Will Connerly here with you, and a lefty on the mound for Harwich. 7 innings to start the game, and a lefty for the YD Red Sox on the mound as well. Ross Dunn got the final out last frame, and now his first full frame of work. The hard-throwing lefty out of Florida State now going to face off against the Mariners here in the bottom of the 7th. They have a 2-run advantage on the YD Red Sox.
And there's a part of me that's a little surprised that Pickler went with Dunn, the lefty, here. Mostly because he pitched a lot against Hyannis, and it doesn't feel like very long ago either. And you're down by 2. Ross Dunn, one of your elite relievers, definitely the guy you turn to keep you in the game.
Breaking ball, swing and a miss. You've got 2, 3, 4 up here for Harwich. Chris Newell, the center fielder, with Brock Wilkin on deck. So the meat of the order for the Mariners. You've got one of the elite arms out of the pen for the YD Red Sox, Ross Dunn. A 0-2 count. And Dunn with the pitch to Newell. It's fouled away to the left side. That registered at 92 miles per hour on the White House Field scoreboard in right center field. As it's fouled away, we'll do the 0-2 pitch once again. Newell and the Harwich Mariners. That ball's fouled away, and the game started with Harwich pouring on the YD Red Sox. Zach Franklin, the starting pitcher, faced 5 guys, surrendered 4 hits and a free pass, one of which was Newell, who singled, then came around to score. And the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, the breaking ball. Got Newell swinging, and Huff throws it around the horn, 1 away. That's the pitch Ross Dunn likes to go to. And somebody who could project to be a starter potentially for the Seminoles. He has a good fastball, has a good breaking ball, and this summer he wants to work on the changeup a lot. You know, if he can have that third pitch, especially as a southpaw, which southpaws that have solid changeups definitely plays at a high level.
Well, Ross Dunn adding a honed changeup is just scary for opposing hitters, because even when he only has that one fastball working, hitters on the Cape still can't get on base against him.
The 0-1 to Wilkin. That ball hit hard to center field. It drops. Wilkin gets on base once again. Had a double in the 2nd, walked in the 5th, and then singles here in the 7th with 1 out, 1 aboard. Here in the bottom of the 7th, a 2-run lead for Harwich, and here comes Carter Putz.
And just the 2nd hit that Ross Dunn has given up all season. And if that doesn't speak to the excellence of the lefty from Florida State, I don't know what does. And the fact that he's a reliever, the fact that he's a pitcher coming out of the bullpen in general, that's the reason that he's not getting enough love, but probably the 2nd best player that YD has had this season. I don't think it's crazy to say that.
And the first being Brooksley.
Brooksley, yeah.
I thought you were going there. 1 out, 1 aboard. Carter Putz at the plate. The first offering's a swing and a miss. So 0-1 the count.
Well, you tell me, is that crazy?
Not at all. I think.
Where are you ranking your top 2 in terms of performance so far? Give me your grading, your early power ranking.
I'd say Wyatt Hoffman has to be in the top
Fair
2.
enough.
0-1 the count. Ross Dunn. The offering to Putz misses low. It goes to the chest protector of Huff after it bounces in the wet dirt. So 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. I'd say Wyatt Hoffman's up there. And I'd also say, I mean, you've got a left-hander, Dom Bukowski, who's picked up 3 wins on the mound. So those 2 guys, the top 2, I think 1 is for sure. I mean, if we're allowed to count non-active players.
Sure.
I'd say Brooks Lee. He was the best player in the league for the time he was here. But other than that, I mean, you got Wyatt Hoffman, Ross Dunn.
And Hoffman also playing both sides extremely well.
Mm-hmm. And then Domkowski as well. So it's interesting. The pitch is fouled away on the 1-1 count. 91 miles an hour from the lefty Dunn. So a ball and 2 strikes now to Carter Putz. And yeah, I think Hoffman, I mean, it's been really impressive. Ever since Brooks Lee has left, it's Hoffman who's absolutely taken flight. And Peyton Graham was neck and neck with Brooks Lee at the beginning of that stretch, but he's fallen off a little bit this past week. Still a very talented player and one of the highest projectable players on this roster with his frame as that pitch misses high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I think he has a very bright future and also is going to have success with YD. We've just talked about, you know, he's going through a little bit of a slump right now. And sometimes those slumps get magnified in summer leagues. When you only play 40 games, it's a higher percentage of your games, and you're playing every day. The 2-2 misses low. And even in the college level, it can get magnified because you only play on the weekends. Oh, he went 0 for 10 this weekend.
No, absolutely. That's definitely a good point. And Peyton Graham, a guy that's played both ends really well, and we were talking to an anonymous scout who believed that Peyton Graham right now, is the best player in the CCBL.
The 3-2 misses high. Runners on first and second. Ross Dunn lets up the free pass. Yeah, and to that point, that coming from somebody who is coming to the Cape for a specific reason, to see Major League Baseball players and scout those players, find the diamonds in the rough, of course, but see which ones they want to potentially help their big league teams. And from the scout side, he said, hey, this dude's the best player in the league, talking about Peyton Graham.
And the thing that was most surprising or even impressive, however you want to define it, about that comment was not that Peyton Graham is the best, is that Peyton Graham is the best in the league right now because he's going through this really, really long slump. And if the scouts still see the potential of Peyton Graham when he's not hitting, then he's going to be drafted really high.
Pitch misses low, of course.
Because that's the thing, right? I'll give you Wyatt Hoffman, for example. Okay, Wyatt Hoffman right now is hitting really, really, really well. He's seeing a beach ball out there. Scott Pickler goes out to talk to Ross Dunn with a ball and no strike and strikes of 1 out.
But continue. Wyatt Hoffman, beach ball.
If you're a scout, you can say easily, okay, Wyatt Hoffman's a good player. He's pitching well. But if you can see that potential in someone who's not hitting well right now, then it's legit.
And that's the potential that they see in Peyton Graham as it's a call to the bullpen for the YD Red Sox. We'll tell you about the new reliever, the new righty, out of the bullpen when we come back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Enter Andrew Marrero, hard thrower out of UConn, and he comes in with 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Runners on first and second. Jordan Beck at the plate. So Harwich with a 2-run advantage, and it's Marrero who comes in to relieve Ross Dunn to face the right-handed hitting outfielder. And it's a situation where Marrero coming in, he was pitched in the last game that YD had, and now working from the stretch. Breaking ball misses high, 1-0 the count with 1 out and 2 runners aboard. Make that 2-0 the count. Forgot Coach Pickler went to a relief pitcher mid-count. Most of the time he does do that when he's seen enough. You don't get ahead of the hitter, then you've got a tight leash.
And Pickler must have a lot of faith in the YD offense to scrape together at least 2 more runs in the waning innings of this game using probably his 2 best relievers, down by 2.
Yeah, in the bullpen you've got your closer, your setup guy called the back end guys. And he's used the back end guys, the premier relievers in YD's bullpen today. And you wonder when you use them in a game when it's a close game, you're not in support, you're not in front, but you have an opportunity with your good guys to keep it where it's at, trust your offense, and, of course, with a ton of rain projected in the forecast for tomorrow, maybe he's thinking about that too. That ball hit to the right side. Tracking for it over is Luttrell. Luttrell not able to make the play.
Foul ground.
Yeah, I had to stand up and try to see where.
We heard the stand-up, too.
You did?
It was a little hitch in your voice. Foul ball up there, and, yeah. That's okay.
Have to do what you have to do, right? Have to deliver the listeners at home what they can't see. And
most people wouldn't be willing to get up. Most people aren't you.
Well, I had to get up because of the fact that down here we're right in line with the third base bag on the first base side of the field. And with the bleachers blocking the right field, but nonetheless, it was a foul ball.
It was a better angle when we were up in the booth for Nesson.
Yes,
yeah.
that was pretty decent with the view and the cameras that they had set up.
Folks at home didn't hear Tyler Henry and Corey Barbarian complaining about it, though.
As the pitch misses inside, count runs full, and no complaints here. When you see baseball, you can't complain at all after Marrero issues the free pass, so bases loaded with 1 out. And Preisner to the plate for Harwich. So here's what you've got here. Bases loaded. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. And you've got Preisner at the plate, Marrero on the mound, and YD trailing by 2. Marrero out of the wind with the bases loaded. He kicks and delivers the pitch. It's in there for a strike. So 0-1 the count.
I like the decision by Marrero to go from the windup, give yourself some extra time, return to as much normalcy as possible. Marrero is inserted into a very difficult situation right now, and if you can go back to the basics, back to your fundamentals, you're in the driver's seat.
The 0-1 misses low, a ball and a strike. Andrew Marrero. He's a hard-throwing right-hander out of UConn. A lot of scouts like the big arm that Marrero has hit 95 miles per hour in a game this year for the YD Red Sox. And the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And so now you've got Preisner in a 1-ball, 2-strike hole against Andrew Marrero. His stuff is good. He's known to get the case. Can he dial one up here? A ball and 2 strikes with 1 out, bases loaded for Harwich. Up by 2 runs, but threatening here to add on more in the bottom of the 7th. You've got the corner. Pinched in Baez, now at first. The pitch, breaking ball, and it catches. Preisner looking as Rick Emerson rings him up. There's 2 away.
That's how it's done. Andrew Marrero going to the slider. That's his wipeout pitch. And when he's throwing it well, there's nothing that Preisner can do. Didn't even bother moving because the slider was so good. If he hit it and he hit it on the ground, that's 2.
He got frozen there, and that brings up Aaron McKeithen, the catcher for the Mariners. 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th. Harwich at the plate with a 2-run lead. First offering to McKeithen, misses low. And the mist coming down here just a little bit. At White House Field, a 2-run advantage for Harwich. McKeithen at the plate. A ball, no strikes here with 2 outs, bases loaded. Marrero out of the wind, the pitch in there for strike 1. At 91 miles per hour, a ball and a strike, 2 outs, bases loaded. 9 hits, 5 runs for the Mariners, and YD had 6 hits on 3 runs, trailing by 2. But utilizing some of their top arms out of the bullpen to try to keep the deficit where it is. Marrero gets the signs from Huff, and here comes the 1-1. That ball cracked to the left side. Back is Zach Liu. He's able to go back and make the play, and that gets out of the jam. Zach Liu in left field able to glove it, and it's Marrero who strands the bases loaded coming out of the bullpen. We send it to the 8th next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Top 8, Brad Klein, Will Connerly here with you. And YD trailing by a couple runs. Wyatt Hoffman at the plate. First offering to him, a swing and a miss. And that came out of the right arm. New pitcher into the game. The lefty went 7 frames for Harwich. And enter Alex Rao, the 6'4", 235-pound righty out of Notre Dame. Making his 3rd appearance on Cape. That pitch misses high. A ball and a strike here to Wyatt Hoffman, who back in the 6th had an infield single to extend his hitting streak. Now a 9-game hitting streak for the middle infielder, Wyatt Hoffman. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Now a ball and 2 strikes after the 92-mile-per-hour fastball got Hoffman swinging.
Oh, that's not Hoffman's pitch. He has a flat swing, and you pretty much need to get under that fastball elevated if you want to do anything with it. Otherwise, you hit it. It's a ground ball.
1-2, breaking ball misses low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And for Rao, 6'4", 235, he's got a big frame, making his 3rd appearance of the year. He's gone 2 innings in his prior 2 outings. So 2 innings on the season in 2 games, making his 3rd appearance and working here in the top of the 8th with a 2-run lead. Pitch misses high. And now it's a 3-ball, 2-strike count. YD looking for base runners. 2, 3, 4 due up in the order for the Red Sox. Wyatt Hoffman with a full count here in the top of the 8th. YD trailing by 2 runs here at White House Field. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss, and Hoffman tardy on the fastball upstairs. He strikes out. That brings up Cody Huff.
And Hoffman, you know that he's playing well when he demands excellence of himself, and not happy after that strikeout. Had some choice words for himself in his inner circle, and I don't think we necessarily would have seen that from him early on, just because he was struggling a little bit early on, and he was just trying to get on base. Now it's a difference. Now the team's looking to him to get this rally going down by 2, and he knows that there's more weight on his shoulders.
He's somebody that now has turned into a guy YD really counts on to have success at the plate. With his success has come success for the YD Red Sox as the pitch misses low to Cody Huff, who's hitting 3rd in the order. 2 balls and no strikes, and Cody Huff, he's had success as well, has reached a couple times today, 1 time on an error, and singled back in the 1st. Multi-hit games in 4 of the past 5 games for Cody Huff as he takes a pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike with 1 out as the right-hander Rao working here with the mist and fog in full effect here at White House Field. The 2-1 pitch misses outside. And now 3 balls and a strike as the off-speed pitch did not get placed where Rao wanted it. And now a 3-ball count for the second consecutive hitter. He got Wyatt Hoffman to strike out on the full count for the first out. The 3-1 here. Foul back and now a full count. So a full count to Wyatt Hoffman, and he struck out. Now a full count here to Cody Huff, YD's catcher. It was YD looking for base runners. A big field here at White House Field as the ball fouled back, but a bloop and a blast ties the game. So YD looking to get runners aboard. We've seen 1 home run tonight, but it came on the other side of the scorecard in the hitting column. Hal Hughes of the Mariners was able to get a home run. Playing second base today for Harwich. And the full count. Pitch misses outside. It's Cody Huff who draws the free pass. And here comes Chase Luttrell with 1 on and 1 away in the top of the 8th, representing the tying run for the YD Red Sox.
Well, Cody Huff doing a really good job with his plate awareness, and it probably ends his multi-hit game streak. He only has the 1 hit, but a consolation prize is being on base for the 3rd time in 4 at-bats.
Chase Luttrell, his last 2 at-bats, he's had singles, and they've been infield singles for the power-hitting outfielder Chase Luttrell. He takes the pitch upstairs. He's up at the plate. Cody Huff is at first. And Rao now working out of the stretch after issuing the free pass, the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Now popped down to first, but Huff back in time. McKeithen had Huff, though, thinking about going anywhere. Putz not able to apply the tag in time. Huff back with plenty of time, but he popped down to first after the pitch.
I don't know where he thinks Cody Huff is going. Down by 2, the catcher has tried to run once and was caught once. It was on a failed hit and run. He has no intentions of heading anywhere.
Next offering, Luttrell fooled on the breaking pitch. So a ball and 2 strikes as he had the half swing wave in at the breaking ball that dropped through the strike zone for strike 2. 1 away, 1 aboard. YD down by 2, top of the 8th. A ball and 2 strikes, Rao getting the signs. He comes set and delivers the 1-2. Ball hit to the right side. It could be 2. 4 over to 6, over to first, but not in time. So Luttrell able to leg it out, becoming a fielder's choice, 4-6 on the FC. And Luttrell on first with 2 outs in the 8th. Enter Pascal Ferreras to the plate.
Feels like the type of play that Luttrell would make. Always giving you a hard 90, a big hustler, a guy that makes the right play. And I'm not necessarily saying that the ground ball to the right side of the infield with a runner on first and 1 out in the top of the 8th inning was the right play, but he's able to salvage something from there. It's not an absolute disaster, and the league leader in double plays not tacking on to that tally.
Has 4 on the year. Looked like it could have been the 5th. Hughes had a nice flip over to Preisner, but not in time to putts at first. But just what Rao wanted. Getting a ground ball to the right side. The right-hander coming out of the bullpen in this frame got Wyatt Hoffman to strike out his first hitter. And he's trying to protect the 2-run advantage, especially for his fellow left-handed pitcher who threw 7 innings in this game. It was Dombrowski who was able to go deep, eat up frames, and have the Whitey Red Sox a little bit off balance in this one. And he wants to protect that 2-run advantage that he has inherited. Now pitching out of the bullpen, got the ground ball, but now a 2-0 count to Pascal Ferreras. With Luttrell on first, the 2-0 pitch misses inside, and it's a 3-ball count. A 3-ball count to Wyatt Hoffman and Cody Huff, and the third 3-ball count and 4 hitters for the righty out of the bullpen. This time it's 3 balls and no strikes here with 2 outs. Luttrell on first, and Pascal Ferreras at the plate. The 3-0 pitch is called for a strike. The fastball was in there, so now 3-1 the count. Pascal Ferreras does have 1 home run on the season. Hit 16 this past spring at Western Carolina. The pitch grounded to the left side. Gloved over by Wilkin. Thrown across the diamond to Putz at first. And Ferreras is retired. 1 stranded for YD in the frame. No hits, 1 walk, but we send it to the bottom of the 8th. Harwich on top, 5-3 on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
Believe you.
Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, and Moreros on the mound, bottom of the 8th. YD down by 2, first pitch foul back. Strike 1.
Just to be clear,
Ben Malgieri.
I believe you. I was caught on mic asking if I believed someone. I don't know if you realize that. I believe you.
Hot mic. You got to always recognize there's hot mics around.
Yeah.
The 0-1 pitch from Andrew Marrero, grounded to the left side. Backhanded over at third. Bowser over to Baez at first. Not in time. A leadoff base runner for Harwich in the bottom of the 8th.
I'll tell you what, we love to talk about scoring. I think in my book I'm giving that a single. And that was a tough play for Bowser, kind of a slow hop for him, and it would have been a very impressive play. I don't know if the throw is on target, if it would have actually recorded an out. He might have beaten the throw.
Yep, the 10th hit for Harwich after the single from Ben Malgieri.
So what happened was a child came in and said, "Hey, I got the ball." And I said, "I believe you."
Well, what other option do you have for
okay, that was the abridged version of the story. He said, "Hey, I got the ball," and I asked if it was real. And then I examined it, and I said, "Yes, I believe you."
Oh, so he recognized it was real.
I recognized it was real.
But what was there to believe?
No, I was being facetious with the child.
Come on now. Andrew Marrero.
Children love facetiousness.
Andrew Marrero coming set. And he's going to take another peek over at first. And, of course, you were
Candy
facetious
and
to the
facetiousness.
player. And foul balls.
Yes.
And Marrero trying to work out of this leadoff base runner, working from the stretch with Malgiri aboard, who got the infield single. 10th hit for Harwich. They have a 5-3 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Hal Hughes at the plate. Homered in the 4th, singled in the 6th. The pitch. Cody Huff throws it down to second. Not in time. It met Wyatt Hoffman about a foot before the bag, and Ben Malgiri, as he was sliding down, hits off Hoffman's glove and then goes to shallow right center field, and Pascal Ferreira's the shortstop, able to corral it. And then Andrew Marrero gets the ball, tosses it into Cody Huff, who gives it to the umpire Rick Emerson, who throws it to the Harwich dugout. They need a new ball after that one got a little wet.
I think the throw actually beat Malgiri, but it was a little wide right, and it caused Hoffman to try to cross Malgiri at second base and apply the tag almost backhanded. And because of that, Hoffman was unable to lock up the ball, and as it trickled to shallow center field. I should say Ferreras could not apply the tag. But that was a tough play. Good pop by Huff.
Yeah, it was good pop time, and he's been good this year. He's now thrown out 3 would-be base runners in 4 attempts. And there he popped up good. It was a little to the right. Hoffman not able to get there in time, and then Ferreras able to back him up, but it was a good pop. Nothing into the count. Marrero getting the signs. Hal Hughes at the plate. 2 for 3 with a home run today. Marrero with a check over on Malgiri at second, back in time. Well, YD scheduled to be on the road tomorrow, at Falmouth tomorrow, and at Bourne the next day. But there's scheduled weather in the forecast, so we'll keep an eye on that. Man, the 0-2. Was that the butt that you wanted to continue, as Hal Hughes continues on along the back to the dugout after getting rung up on strike 3. And in all fairness, though, tonight there was many people that weren't very optimistic about getting this game in, and it was able to be played. However, this rain is not the same type of rain. Tropical storm moving up the East Coast, and it's projected to pour down starting tonight and into tomorrow. So that makes playing baseball a little difficult when you got puddles on the field. But so we'll see what happens and keep you updated moving forward. The first offering here to Tatum Levens, the leadoff hitter for Harwich. He takes it for a strike. And Levens, he started off the first pitch he saw from Zach Franklin, single. And then it was another single, walk, single, and then Franklin was out of the game. He was aggressive on Franklin, who didn't have his stuff today, and you wonder if Franklin's still in the rotation as Marrero looks back over to second, not in time. Very close play over at second. Marrero popping back, turning the shoulders, jumping off the mound to pick off, or attempt to pick off Malgiri at second, and Ferreira applies the tag. Bang, bang play at second base, but called safe.
Yeah, it was a nice move by Marrero. Didn't seem like Malgiri was taking too aggressive of a lead, or Marrero had a really good chance.
The 0-1 pitch misses. A ball and a strike here with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th. So you've got next half inning as YD's last chance at the plate to try to salvage a tie, a win, or end up with the result in the L column. They'll see. It's up to the offense next half inning, but it's up to Andrew Marrero right now to try to keep the deficit where it's at. YD trailing by 2 runs, but Harwich with a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 the advantage for Harwich. You've got Malgiri at second with 1 out. 2 balls and a strike to count here at 11s with Newell on deck and Brock Wilkin, the third place hitter in the lineup, in the hole. Another check over on second, and Ferreras has to extend his left arm, his glove arm, before that ball almost went into center field after the throw missed a little bit right, but Ferreras able to get to it on the pickoff attempt. The second time Marrero has tried to get Malgiri leading off second base.
That was almost a disaster for Andrew Marrero. At this point, he should probably just be focusing on that hitter.
And he gets the signs. 2 balls and a strike. Levin's at the plate, the pitch. Misses high, 3 balls and a strike. Here at 11s. Up next would be Chris Newell. Here with 1 out. Runner on second. And a 2-run lead for Harwich. So Newell is next. As Marrero gets the ball, rubs it up, and now gets onto the mound. Working on a wet mound. Looking in, getting the signs from Huff. Here with the fog in effect at White House Field, the pitch misses low. It's a free pass. Base was open at first. Levins takes it via the free pass, and that brings up Chris Newell with runners on first and second and just 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th.
So if you're Marrero, it's cold, it's foggy, conditions not great, and the longer you keep your team out standing in the field, the less likely they are to contribute offensively in the next frame. It is actually a race for Andrew Marrero right now to get his hitters back in and warm.
First offering in there for strike 1 to Chris Newell, and when you have your hitters who are your position players standing out there for a good amount of time, and not only does it take away on the offensive end, but it takes away on the defensive end as well. It's hard to maintain that focus and anticipate a ball's going to come your way when you have frames that go a long way. Swing and a miss on the 0-1 offering, so an 0-2 hole now to Chris Newell. I'm not saying that's the case right now with Andrew Marrero, but when the conditions are bad, that stuff is magnified with the position players who want to be there for your pitcher, trying to lock in for the entirety of each frame, all 27 outs.
And Marrero is also a very, very slow-working pitcher. And that's fine. That's who he is, but it's a matter of fact.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Sam Marrero gets the strikeout. Newell goes down swinging, and now Marrero 1 out away from getting out of the jam. It was a leadoff single, thereafter a walk, but he gets 2 strikeouts in the frame, 2 aboard, and here comes Brock Wilkin. Wilkin up with runners on first and second. One of the most feared hitters across the league, hitting here for Harwich in the bottom of the 8th. Harwich is up by 2 runs, but they've got their third place hitter in the lineup who already has a double and single today. Drew a walk in the 5th, been on base 3 times with a runner in scoring position. Runners on first and second. Marrero's first offering misses low. So a ball, no strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Runners on first and second, and the third baseman, Brock Wilkin, at the plate. Hit his 3rd home run of the summer yesterday. Has good power, 7 extra base hits on the season, hitting .347 coming into today. And a swing and a miss on the low breaking ball. Count evens at 1-1.
Oh, and Marrero talking some trash after Wilkin chased that low breaking ball in the dirt. And you could tell that he's really feeling it now, and he's in the zone.
A ball and a strike. Wilkin 2 for 2 with 2 walks, a double, and a single today. So the .347 average is rising. The pitch, breaking ball's high. You like to hear the lingo, the chatter, and communication that can sometimes be verbal or nonverbal between the pitcher and the hitter. Right now it's Wilkin in a 2-ball, 1-strike count with 2 outs and 2 on. Here in the bottom of the 8th, it's a 2-run lead for the Mariners. Marrero comes set, gets the signs from Huff, and the 2-1 to Wilkin up and in. And then this is for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike now with 2 outs. As the mist continuing to sprinkle down in the vision, also could be a question with the fog all across the outfield. 3 balls and a strike, 2 outs. 2 on and the pitch to Wilkin. Misses up. Wilkin gets the free pass, and bases are loaded for Carter Putz. Second time today, he's hit with the bases loaded. And Brock Wilkin today, walk, double, walk, single, walk. So he's on first base, bases loaded. And now Carter Putz hitting with the bases loaded. He did so in the first and drove a run in. 3 runs for Harwich in the bottom of the first, and then they tallied another in the bottom of the second and had a 4-0 lead until YD was able to tack on a run later in the game. But Harwich with the advantage 5-3. And Marrero's first pitch misses. Here to Carter Putz, the cleanup hitter and first baseman for Harwich from Notre Dame, hitting a little below 300, but 2 hits today. Has the average increasing, had a double in the 5th, a single that drove in a run in the first, in the 3-run inning for Harwich. The 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Count evens at a ball and a strike here with 2 outs. Bases loaded for the Mariners in the bottom of the 8th. A 5-3 lead for Harwich. Next half inning, the last chance for the YD Red Sox. A ball and a strike. Marrero getting the signs as the miss comes down at White House Field. The pitch misses low. Huff gloves it in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. If the inning should extend, Jordan Beck on deck. Marrero has his sights set on Carter Putz at the plate. And the 2-1 pitch from Andrew Marrero. Swing and a miss, and now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marrero, last inning, came in and was able to issue the pop-out to Zach Liu. Bases loaded, stranded in that frame. Could he do it for a second consecutive frame after last inning doing it, relieving Ross Dunn? 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th. A 2-run lead for Harwich. They've got the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 8th. And the 2-2 awaits from Marrero. And he got him. Andrew Marrero strikes out the side, sandwiched around some walks and a hit, but he strands the bases loaded for the second consecutive inning. And it's YD who comes to the plate in their final chance in the 9th next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. So designated hitter Tanner Smith leading off the top of the 9th for the YD Red Sox, trailing by 2 runs. First offering hit to the left side, backhanded over at short across to first, and Smith is retired. 1 away on 1 pitch in the top of the 9th.
That's a great play by Preisner, a guy that might be a little mentally rattled for a couple of misplays, an error and a misplay that is. And that's exactly the opposite of what we saw. We saw composure there. Even though Smith runs well, he took his time. That's the only way to do it. And now Cade Hunter comes in as a pinch hitter.
So Drew Bowser, who's still hitless for the Whitey Red Sox, strikeout, ground out in his work today, now getting pinch hit for Cade Hunter.
I think this is just a righty-lefty thing. I wouldn't dig too deep into the Drew Bowser absence in this at-bat.
Bowser early on struggling for the Whitey Red Sox, and Cade Hunter coming in, the left-handed hitter, to face the righty. Hunter, after the time is called by umpire Rick Emerson mid-pitch, it was interesting call there as the
It looked like Emerson might have, and this is speculative, but he might have not been able to see. It looked like he kind of took a couple of steps just to regain his composure, and now the mist is coming down on his mask too.
He saw the strike there, the 1-1. Cade Hunter hits it left side. Preisner over to short again, across the diamond once again over to first. And there's 2 away on 2 ground outs to Preisner. Now he did make some misplays during this game, but 2 big outs in the 9th for the shortstop. And Cade Hunter grounds out. 0 for his last 11 now, and that brings up Drew Compton. Drew Compton pinch hitting for Zach Liu, who's 0 for his last 3. That's today. He's 0 for 3, but had a 3-hit game at Chatham, and that's when the bat broke out for Zach Liu. A career 300 hitter, above 300 hitter at Cal State Fullerton in 3 seasons. But getting pinch hit for Andrew Compton, swing and a miss. He just fouls it back. 0-1 the count, and Compton, a switch hitter, better from the left side. Had a double at Chatham from Georgia Tech, and his splits playing the matchup maybe once again. Coach Pickler does like to do that. The 0-1 pitch misses outside. Nate Baez waiting on Dag. 1 ball and 1 strike here with 2 outs. Nobody on as YD is down to their final chance. But a single and then an at-bat, and you've got the tying run at the plate. That ball popped away to the left side, and it's foul by the Mariner bullpen. As Alex Rao in his second frame of work, it was a good start from Trey Dombrowski. He went 7 frames rather, and then Rao came out in the 8th. And trying to work the 9th, he's got YD down to its final strike with Compton at the plate. Rao out of the wide. The 1-2 misses up and in as Compton backs off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here with 2 outs. YD has won 3 games in a row. 2-2 the pitch. Grounded to the right side. Over to first. Gloved and stepped on it by Carter Putz. And YD falls for the first time in a while. And they drop this one by a score of 5-3 here at White House Field.
That was bound to happen, and when you get 7 innings out of your starter, you're expected to win the game, and Harwich does just that. High fives on the field for the Mariners, and rightfully so. They got their 3 runs in the first inning, and it's so important to score early on. That way you're playing from ahead of the game, and the other team is behind the 8 ball, and you can manage your bullpen and your pitchers the way you want. And the other team, in this case it was YD, starts to press a little bit, and that's when they get into some trouble.
Yeah, the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox dropped this game by a score of 5-3, but Wyatt Hoffman's hit streak continues. Chase Luttrell with a couple infield singles. The start not too pretty for Franklin, but the bullpen doing an okay job keeping things where they were at. It was the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox dropping this one by a score of 5-3, and we'll be back in action with you tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Of course, potential weather in the forecast, so we'll see what happens, but that's a final here from White House Field, 5-3, the final score, and YD hits the road. Their road stand continues at Falmouth tomorrow, and they finish up their road stand at Bourne the following day. So weekend over hanging out with the West Division. But for Brad Klein and Will Connerly, that's a final from White House Field, 5-3. The Red Sox fall in this one. And so long from White House Field.